Thank you. And before the press, hey, whoa, hush up a second, okay? Got one more thing to say. I just signed another $200 million drawdown from the Department of Defense for Ukraine, and that'll be coming quickly. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Whoa, hush up a second. Good day, folks, and welcome to another edition of Lumberjack Logic. I'm your host, Neil Johnson. Excited to be with you. This report is wild. I've got a bunch of video in here. Stick with me through the whole thing. What do you see what Rand Paul has to say about all of this? But he's using a presidential drawdown. Yes, a drawdown authority. Wait till you see the numbers on what they've used through the drawdown to send to Ukraine. But you're asking, well, what the heck is that? I'm going to give you right from the state.gov website, the use of the Presidential Drawdown Authority to direct a drawdown to provide military assistance under Section 506A1 of the Foreign Assistance Act is a valuable tool of U.S. foreign policy in crisis situations. There's a crisis over there. The average age of the Ukrainian soldier right now is 46. They've killed off a generation of young men over in Ukraine. It allows for the speedy delivery of defense articles and services from Department of Defense stocks to foreign countries and international organizations to respond to unforeseen emergencies. Such assistance can begin arriving with days or even hours of approval. So he's basically just going, hey, here's this money in the Department of Defense. We're just taking it. And under the Foreign Assistance Act, we're just sending it over to Ukraine. Now, this is interesting because it reminds me of the education system, where the poorer the schools perform, the more they ask for money, telling you that money will solve it all. And in this case, people, it's going to solve democracy.
Thank you for taking my question. Dmitry Anopchenko, Ukrainian television news correspondent. Many Republican voices doubt the ability of Ukraine to win the war. Senator once recently even told that Ukraine need to cede some territories to stop fighting. Pane Volodymyre, to be very honest, have you even considered such a step to cede the territories to stop fighting?
To answer this vitally important question, Vladimir Zelenskyy went on Fox News with Bret Baier to tell you all what you need to do and how you should look at this. But look at these numbers. This is just through the Ukraine Security Assistance Initiative. This is all through Drawdown Authority. Look at these numbers of, 2.1 billion, 1.2 billion, so on. So we are now closing in on spending $200 billion. That's billion with a B, $200 billion on Ukraine. All for democracy, people, democracy. What about our democracy here at home, where we have 223,000 bridges that are in need of repair? Okay, so we talk about this infrastructure. I thought Biden was the infrastructure president. Obviously, he's not. He's the de-infrastructure. He's the bomb the bridges over in Ukraine president, bomb the bridges in Russia. There's nothing about infrastructure. It is a perpetual war machine. That's what's going on here. And we're closing in on spending $1 trillion just on war efforts throughout the world. This is nuts.
What do you say to critics who are saying that?
I say, such person from government or mayors, think about the war, think about how to defend our people. Don't travel through the world each day. Travel to the front line. Ask people, ask soldiers what they need. Do this. Not build roads for today. Don't do it. Spend all your money to the weapon, to the drones, to the society, to the pensions, and etc. And don't cry.
That's right. And don't you cry about it. That's right, because we're supposed to spend all our money. We're supposed to send it all over to Ukraine, not only to pay for their weapons of war, but also their pensions. Many Americans may be shocked to learn this, but U.S. taxpayers, as families grappled with fears of Social Security's looming insolvency, the Social Security Administration in Washington sent $4.48 million to the Kiev government in 2022 and 2023 alone. In another example of bizarre spending, U.S. aid paid off $4.5 billion worth of Ukraine's sovereign debt through payments made to the World Bank, all while Congress went to loggerheads over America's ballooning national debt. Western financial interests, including BlackRock Inc., are among the largest holders of Ukrainian government bonds. The grift is real, people.
Because you are leaders, and that's it. That's why we are. And that's why we stay, because mostly people are not crying. People stay and fight against Putin. And we don't have any enemies in our country. We can't have time for this, and we don't have it. We have only one enemy. This is Putin, and that's it.
But you'll stand from democracy going
Yes,
forward.
of course, and of course, because we are really defending democracy, and we are really defending freedom.
Mr. President, we appreciate your time, and we'll continue to follow the war.
Thank you so much.
Remember, people, it's all for democracy. Democracy, we only have one enemy, Putin. Forget Biden. Forget what he's doing with our border. Forget the porous border, the ballooning national debt, $33 trillion right now. We're supposed to send more money to Ukraine. Forget our roads. Forget our bridges. Democracy. Democracy. Do you get it? Democracy. Now, listen to what Rand Paul has to say. I think this is one of the best things. I've got a humorous video here at the end that's going to absolutely split your gut wide open.
But it's irresponsible to simply borrow more money. To borrow the money from China, simply to send it to Ukraine, makes no sense and makes us weaker, not stronger. But let's be honest. Most of Congress doesn't seem to care about the debt, doesn't seem to care how much money we shovel out the door and out of the country. Why? Because it's not their money. Every day, Milton Friedman's statement is proven correct, that nobody spend somebody else's money as wisely as their own. I doubt the big spenders in Congress will ever consider spending any of their own money, but Americans across the land should sit up and notice and attach blame to these profligate spenders.
Whoa, Rand, you got off script. You forgot. It's all about democracy. We're supposed to funnel money back to Ukraine that we borrowed from China, the very people who just launched a cyber attack on us. So we're supposed to support China's democracy? Wait, and Ukraine's democracy. Vladimir Zelenskyy actually jailed a pastor over there, multiple pastors actually, and then he went after some guy who reported too, put him in jail. So this is all, come on, this is not about democracy. Do you remember when we tried to destroy the Russian ruble? That's right, their currency. And then they went on the gold standard and it did okay. Okay, actually, I should mention my sponsor here, Midas Gold Group, MidasGoldGroup.com. If you mention that you saw this on Lumberjack Logic, mention my name, you can get some free silver with a qualifying order. But I recommend it. I'm a big believer in gold and silver and precious metals actually having something real and tangible because our American dollar sucks. But I've got to share this last video with you, which will absolutely blow your mind. Somebody did some sort of like rewording of Vlad's speech, and it's so hilarious. And it's hilarious because it rings true.
Thank you, thank you. As I told General Austin, I have come here for a re-up of cash. I brought the coke, I brought the hookers, I brought the kickbacks. Now, where is my money? I need it to buy another yacht. Fund the war to fight against democracy. Delete the yacht part. I have dirt on all Washington politicians, and I will release unless I get my money. Do you want your sons and daughters sent to the war?
Look, people, the reason that's so funny is because it rings true. We saw Vlad on his big Paris shopping spree with his wife. We know about the yachts. He's not sacrificing anything. This is some failed actor who danced around with open butt cheeks, slapping other men's butts. We've seen the videos. This whole thing is ridiculous, okay? Yes, Ukraine's at war. Yes, I feel for the citizens of Ukraine. I also feel for the citizens of Russia. They need to work out a sensible peace agreement and just finish this. Stop the grift, Vlad. We're not buying it. Thanks so much for listening to another edition of Lumberjack Logic. And remember to check out my other sponsor, MyPillow. MyPillow.com, promo code Lumberjack for big savings. And subscribe if you're new to the channel. Oh, and if you haven't gotten the Giza sheets from Mike Lindell over at MyPillow, get those. MyPillow.com/Lumberjack. Peace out.